Hi viewers, today we'll see Python basics for grade 7. So let's assume the cooking model. We take all ingredients, we just put it on the gas stove one by one as per the procedure, and we make a delicious recipes. Similar way, when we give the input to the computer, it will do the computation, business logic, or whatever we are asking for, and it displays as the output. So that's how we take it and relate it. Input, and the computer will do the processing, and then we get the output. Next we'll see Python is a high level language. I guess you guys are aware low level language, assembly language, high level language, of which the high level language is written simple English. So it is easily understandable and easy to write. So Python is one such high level language with simple syntax, but it is case sensitive. So the small and capital letter words are having different meaning. Next, it's an interpreted language, so it has a line-by-line execution and throw you error if any error in that particular line. Platform independent, it runs on all operating systems, Windows, Linux, Apple, etc. It's free to use. Uses of Python, next we see it is used in building website, develop games, scientific computations, and artificial intelligence. How to download the Python? Just go to python.org and download the required version. Mostly we all use Windows, so you can just download the Windows version. And you get an executable. You could just run it the way you do for the other software. You get the land on Python. So the Python, what are the components of this Python window? So I have here my Python window. So the topmost thing is the title bar, and file, edit, all those are the menu bar. It's like the other IDE only. Script area is the place where we enter the script, and then down below, that's the status bar. It's very similar to other IDE we have. There are two modes, interactive and script mode in Python. So you see the one on left, that's the interactive mode, and on the right, that's the script mode. So in interactive mode, you type, you get the output immediately on the next line. Whereas in script, we need to write the script, save it as a Python file. It's untitled as of now, then we have to run it. So that's the procedure for script. So let's see an example here on the interactive mode. If you just type within a single quote, welcome to Python world, it's just a message. You get it displayed in the very next line. You want to do some computation, calculation, 10 plus 20, it gives 30 in the very next line. So that's interactive mode. Whereas if you want to do the same computation of 10 plus 20, 30, we have to write a script in the script mode and save it as a Python file and then run it. So you just have to take 10 in a variable x, variable value assignment operator, all these you're familiar with even in grade 6. And then we do the actual computation of sum x plus y, and display is done by the print command. This again you're familiar, so just print and save it as a Python file. And what computation we're doing here? It's a sum or addition. So adding two numbers, it changes from untitled to whatever name you have given. Just let me maximize. So it's .py file. It's stored as .py file, and then you have to run it. You get that answer of 30. Though the procedure is lengthy, it's good to write this in script mode so that we can reuse it or reference it. Many people can use the same set of code for updating. Changes can be done. Now let's see an example in interactive mode again. When we type some word, we have to always type it within double quotes. So hello is a word here. It's called a string in computer terms. So get it displayed with print command. And if you see here, I'm typing print hello, wherein P is uppercase in uppercase capital letter, which is not the keyword of Python. So Python is case sensitive. We have seen in its feature. So this clearly show you need to type the keyword as print in small letters. So that's the actual keyword. Else it will consider this as some other name. 10 plus 20, those kind of computation, all arithmetic operations can be directly done on the interactive mode or in a different way by you calling it through the print command also. Within print command, you can just give a string. Whatever string you write, it just get displayed. And then the computation followed after the string. So you get the 30 as an answer. Just to familiarize yourself with the basic codes, all these examples, we'll see a few set of programs after this. So just whatever you type within the double quote, it displays those words followed by computation what you wanted. Here we did 10 plus 20, 30. Next we can do 45 divided by 6. It gives 7.5 because it's not exactly divisible. So it will have the decimal form. Just few examples. You can directly do computations in interactive mode, and the very next line you get the result for the same. But once the mode is closed, interactive mode, the session is lost, so your programs are not stored actually. Whereas in script mode, we are storing it, so we can reference it n number of times as and when we need it. We can make changes as and when needed. And many people can use, multiple users can share the same code. So those are the right way of using Python in the script mode. Next, we will see the variables in Python. Just the storage, how it is being handled in computer. So let's assume storage like a box or the container in your shelf, kitchen shelf. So you put something inside that. It's like 10 and 20 are the numbers you keep inside the boxes. So these boxes are like storage and they will have a name, box 1, box 2 or A. We are giving here a name as A, and what value it holds, it's 10. So here the left hand side, A is a variable name, equal to is the assignment. You always need to assign some value to any variable. So you're saying what is inside A? Inside A box we have number 10. That's the value of this box. This is how the storage in computer works. Next we say same way B box which has a value of 20. So A is a variable name, B is also variable name, equal to is assignment operator, and 20 here is the value of that variable B. Now let's have one more box called C, which is going to do the computation of A plus B, which is doing the arithmetic operation addition of A plus B. So what does it do? The C is a box which will have the value of the end result of A plus B. So 10 plus 20, that is 30. So the value of the variable C is 30. That's what is getting stored in the box C. So in box A 10, box B 20, and box C has the arithmetic addition, that's 30. 10 plus 20, 30. Now if you do A equal to C minus 10, what it exactly does is, C value we know it's 30, 30 minus 10, that's 20. So the value of the box A is changing from 10 to 20. So in this case, it's not going to have both the values. It will just replace that value of 10 to 20. This is called overwriting. So the value is overwritten here from 10 to 20. Now if you see inside the box A, you will not have the value of 10. It will have the value of 20. After this step of A equal to C minus 10. So the value gets overwritten in the box A or a variable A. Next, variable should always have a value. So that's something I've already told you. Variable is given without any value, then it will throw an error. And what are the rules of writing this variable name? So it can be of any length. Length in the sense it can be any longer, but it is case sensitive. If you say age as a variable name, in another place you write it as small age, these both are different names. So it will not understand, as Python is case sensitive. If you start it as AGE, A caps, capital letter, then you have to continue calling that variable with the same way all time. We have already seen that print P cannot be caps. So these kind of keywords cannot be used in the as a variable name, because the print command in small case, small letters, is actually a keyword in Python. So this cannot be used as a variable name. And the variable name starts with alphabet. It can be capital letter or small letter or underscore. And also variable name can take alphabets, digits, that's numbers. Alphabets you can take it as letters, digits are numbers, and only the underscore. No other special characters are allowed, like ash, at the rate of, all these are not allowed. Space, asterisk, all these are not allowed in the variable name. So the variable name has to follow certain rules. Let's see some example. Emp I underscore code is a valid variable name because it is having alphabets, underscore, no digits. So it is still valid. So this is a valid variable name. Let's see a few more examples. I'm starting with a number which is not allowed because the variable name should start only with alphabet or underscore, not with a number. Number can be part of variable name but not at the beginning. And if you see in my third one, there is a space between emp and code, which is also not allowed. This is not a valid variable name. In my next example, emp at the rate of code, this is again not allowed because at the rate of is a special character which cannot be part of a variable naming convention. A45R is valid because it allows alphabet, numbers, so that is valid. So this is how you have to give the variable names. And as I mentioned earlier, variable definitely need to be assigned. It cannot be left out without any assignment. Then it throws an error asking for what is this variable for. Let's see some programs, small programs. Now I'm writing a variable a having a value of 10 and b has a value of 5. We are doing the addition, sum equal to a plus b, and we know the value of a is 10 and b is 5. So we do a plus b, and we need to display the result on the screen, for which we have to use print command. So print, you can write whatever you want, the words, any words, you can write it within double quotes. And then comma, and you call what you have computed, that's sum. Here if I give big S caps, that will throw error because there is no such variable. Yes, so we changed it to small s. So we need to save this as a Python file and give a meaningful name so that when you want to refer the script again, it's easy to identify. So we gave it as computation.py. Now we run it. We get the result 10 plus 5, 15. Here if we add the difference, same way, a minus b, product, a into b, so we can even do the division, a divided by b. We have one more quotient. We have mod, which gives us the remainder. But still the result will show only for sum. Why? Because we have to include all this in the display. Then we get to see all the results. Save it again. After making any small changes, we need to save and then run. You get all the results now. First is addition, second difference, product, division, and the remainder is 0. Next, we will see about the data types in Python. Integer meaning, you know already what is integers, positive and negative numbers. So they can be declared as integers. Float, all fractional part or decimal which has a decimal. String, any kind of words. It's represented as str. And it should always be within the single quotes or double quotes. Just to give any name, it falls under the category of string. If you give your age, it's a number, it falls into the category of integer. If your marks is there where you get the precision of, like you got 28.5, so that goes into float. So this is how you relate your data into which category of data type it actually gets into. So any fractional or decimal part is involved, then it is to be declared as float. The next data type is Boolean, which is represented as bool, B-O-O-L. Here it just says it's either true or false. For the comparison, you can just say 10 is less than 5. Definitely not. So it returns the value false. It displays you false as a result. Derives, we'll start writing few programs. Here we have given a equal to 10 and b equal to 5, but it's not useful. The value can keep changing. We need it in such a way the value is not the same always. So for that, we'll first get to know two functions. Input function will have only one string argument, meaning it will have only within double quotes, you can whatever you type, it will be displayed. And you see print has multiple parameters. If you see here, first is a string, then followed by we are calling so many calculations, sum, difference, product. So it's many multiple parameter, means it has many set of values to display. So the print will have multiple parameters, but whereas the input will have only one string argument. So just whatever you enter, it will just display that. That's what an input will do. So you get every time different value from the user. That's the right way of using this code, than rather just mentioning a equal to 10, b equal to 5. So let's take it from the user itself. Now we are declaring a equal to input, enter your number, b equal to input of enter your second number. Then you do the sum, c equal to a plus b, and then you call c in print to display that. What does it display? It's going to display sum of two numbers, so just give it as a string and followed by calling c, because c does the actual sum. Save it. Now it changes from untitled to the given name. Now run it. You're just giving your first number and second number, and you expect 10 plus 20 30, but that's not happening. Why? Because nothing is mentioned, meaning it will take as a string. So it's taking 10 and 20 as a string and just writing it one after the other. As we said, a plus b, so it's just writing one after the other, 10 followed by 20. So if you want the actual computation to be done, these need to be declared as number. So to declare them as a number, we have to use the data type int. So before input, we give int. Now it will take both a and b as number, and it will do the actual computation of addition. Just save it. Run it. You give your any random number 10, 20 again, you get the 30 as a result. So we need to declare it explicitly that these two are numbers, then it will understand and the computer does the computation of addition. Next we'll do product. So always give a valid name for the variables instead of just a, b kind of thing. And you're calling that it would be displayed in the print also. Sum and product. C is the sum here. Product is the word used to do the calculation of multiplication, a into b. So to display anything, we have to bring it inside print so that it display the result on the screen. Here again, big P will throw error because that's not the valid variable name in this program. Save and run it. Give two numbers, 20 and 30. So it does both addition and the multiplication. 20 into 30, 600. And there is a space between both the results because we are using comma. We'll see about it also very shortly. What are the different ways to display the result? Let's see a few more examples program so that you will get to understand. So we know rectangle has length and breadth, so we need to declare two inputs and both are numbers, so we have to declare it as int. If it is in decimal, definitely we need to declare them as float. So we are giving enter the L is your length. So the user should understand what you are typing. If you just give L, what will they understand? So you have to be giving the detailing it out in the string argument inside the input. And the good way of writing the variable name is also, it should be very specific so that anybody reads your code can understand it. Just L and B, sometimes it won't be understandable. So be specific in detailing it out. And same way within the input argument, you have to clearly say, then only user can understand and give their input accordingly. So enter the length and enter the breadth. And we're going to find the area and the perimeter of a rectangle. So we know the formula, we learned it in math. Area is L into B, perimeter is 2 into L plus B. So those formulas we can apply here. Area equal to perimeter equal to so we need to explicitly mention multiplication between 2 and the bracket, and then in print command we need to display the result. So if we first write the string argument, what are we going to display? Area and perimeter of rectangle, which is to be within double quotes, followed by what results we need to be displayed? Area and perimeter. So here we need to save the program. And give a meaningful name to the program. What we are doing here, rectangle, area and perimeter. We are calculating its area and perimeter. So just save. And then we need to run it. This is going to show us some errors. We'll learn from the errors. So input, if you see here, I have used I capital letter, which is not the keyword of Python. So if you see I, we need to change it to small case, small letter. We have seen I as well as P, small case. Again save it, run it. It still have some error. Let's see what it is. Give a length 5, 2. It's asking what is L into B because L is not defined, because we have defined it in a different variable name, that is length. It's not actually L. We defined the variable as length. We defined it as breadth. So same variable name we have to use it during computation. So length into breadth. Same way even in perimeter, L plus B, it will not understand. It will ask what it is. So we have to mention it, length and breadth. Now we made some changes. So we need to make save again. Now you give length and breadth, it does the area and perimeter. 5 2s are 10. 2 into 5 plus 2 is 7 2s are 40. So that's area and perimeter of a rectangle. And same way, if you just remove the multiplication symbol, you can see it will throw an error. It's asking what is it. It's a warning. It says, so if we proceed further by giving the length and breadth, then it will show the error. So we need to give the multiplication explicitly there so that the computer can understand and do the computation accordingly. Now if I give the length as 10 and breadth as 4, you get 40 and 28 as area and perimeter. 10 4s are 40 and 10 plus 4, 14 into 2, 28. That's the perimeter. We'll see some more new examples. Next we will see square. So square has only side. So that is what is the input. So we just declare it as a number. So it's an integer. we're going to call, so the user can give the input every time. So we are using the input, and what are we going to input is the side of the square. When we enter the side of the square, what computation we are going to do? We're going to do the area and perimeter calculation. So area is side into side. If you give small s, big S, it will not understand all those because the variable name is SIDE in small case. So we cannot change it. If we change it, it will ask what it is. Whatever variable name we are using, we have to use the same thing in computation. So perimeter we know is 4 into S. If you say 4s, it will not understand. So you have to give explicitly the multiplication symbol, and it's not s. The variable name here is side. And inside the parent, we give the argument, string argument. We are going to display area of square in one line. So just call the area, and the perimeter, we'll call it in next line. Perimeter of a square, and whatever we have used for that, we have to give the same spelling. Perimeter, P capital letter, followed by all in small letters. Here in perimeter, 4 into S will throw error. Just we'll see. Save this as square, run it. We can give the side of the square as 5. It's asking what is S. S is not defined. There is no such variable name S. We know very well, we have declared the variable name as SIDE in small letters. Now we save it, run it, and we give the side of the square as 6. We get both area and perimeter. Here if you see, the output are in 2 different lines because we gave 2 print command to display it in 2 different lines. Next we will see one more program, converting the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So we are giving the input as Fahrenheit. It's a number we know. So it's int input, enter the temperature in Fahrenheit. We can give this as float also. It does work. If you are giving the input in decimals, yes. So the calculation is to convert it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So that's going to be Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5/9. Then we need to display the results, so we call it print temperature in Celsius. We converted it already, and call the variable to display the result of Celsius computation. So Celsius, now save it. So it's a conversion Fahrenheit to Celsius. FC I've given. It changes from untitled to fc.py Python file. Run it. Give the temperature in Fahrenheit. You see an error. Print, because print P is uppercase, you need to change it. It's not a keyword. It's considering as just a name, and it's asking what is that name. So now you change and again run it. It does the calculation for Celsius, converted to Celsius. So you can just play around. What are the other possible questions you can get is definitely related to your math and physics. So area of triangle can be another question. So you know the formula half into base into height. So you need to give the input of base and height. Perimeter of triangle, again 3 sides you have to give. Area and circumference of circle, we know pi r square, 2 pi r. Here we can explicitly mention the value of pi as 3.14 directly and do the calculation. Then we only need the radius to do the calculation of this area and circumference of circle. Next, in physics, if you see what is speed, if the distance and time are given, so you can just take the two inputs, distance and time, and calculate the speed, distance by time. If you have kilometer per hour to meter conversion, you have to do accordingly. Multiply the speed by 5 by 18. Then swapping A as B, B as A. So swapping is other possible program. And similar to area of triangle, perimeter of triangle is side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 if 3 sides are different. If it's an equilateral triangle, then the sides are same, so 3 into S. So the other possible programs are total, we need to just sum up, percentage. Next we'll see how to display the result, output. So the way of displaying the result depends on the print. So print will take multiple parameters. We have seen already several examples. So there are 3 ways to display it. If we use comma, it gives one space between the two results. If we use tab space, it gives a tab space between two results. If we use slash and new line, it gives on the new line. Two different results and two different lines. Let's see for the example already we have seen area and perimeter. So here if we are used the comma, by giving length and breadth, it does area and perimeter with one space. That's the usage of comma. In the same example, we give tab space and new line, the other two options to see how it's getting displayed. So we just give 2 more lines of print command using the other two options of tab space and new line to see how it's displayed. So we made some changes on displaying the result in 3 different ways using the print with comma, tab space and new line. So we are separating 2 results with comma, tab space and new line. After making the changes, we'll just save it and run it. So when we give the length and breadth, it gives the result in 3 different ways. With comma, if you see, it just take one space. With comma, in the display, it's only one space. With tab space, it gives one tab space between two results, area and perimeter. With new line, it gives the end result in 2 different lines. If you see here, in the first line 30 and in the second line 26. So I believe this is useful. You can play around with different possible programs. Please do share and subscribe. Thank you.